Hi, welcome to Baking with Marion. We are doing a couple of easy things, but there's also some steps that we have to go through. So to try to make this meal come out at the same time as in the brown rice that I'm going to cook, plus the shrimp scampi that I'm going to cook, I'm going to start by thawing my shrimp. I have a package of 2 pounds of shrimp. And the shrimp scampi is actually calling for 1 pound of shrimp. Now this shrimp happens to be raw, so I have to peel it, and it's also been frozen, so I have to thaw it. So first of all, I have to open the bag. Maybe that will be your trick too. So I'm going to get out my scissors because apparently... Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I found it. Apparently, I opened this bag before. So, what I have to do to thaw this, because I haven't put it in the refrigerator the night before, what I do is I have my colander, and I put my shrimp in that. I hope that's about a pound. Oops. Okay, that was probably way more than a pound. It's just that I like shrimp. Alright, so now that the shrimp is in the colander, in the sink, I'm going to run some cool water over it. I know that sounds like, well, why am I not doing hot water over it? Well, you don't want to burn part of it either. So all you're going to do is go get some, you're going to run the cold water on it. So I'm going to let that happen first. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to put this back in the freezer. Now while that's happening, there's something else I need to do. I need to get my rice ready. If my shrimp had already been thawed, then I would just go straight for the brown rice. I'm using my electric pressure cooker, and it takes only about 12 minutes for brown rice to cook. Normally if it was on the stove, it might take 45 minutes to cook. So I am going to cook my rice in my electric pressure cooker. Again, there's a couple of things I have to do to get it prepped before it goes into the electric pressure cooker. This is too big. If I put any rice in here, all of that rice is just going to fall right through. So I have to pick the right size of strainer for this. I'm using this. This is a fine strainer. It has a lot of mesh to it. And the reason for rinsing your rice, that's what we're about to do, we have to rinse the rice, is because in a pressure cooker, because it has that little valve, the starch from the rice would end up stuffing that, getting it clogged. So I'm going to put this back on and turn it to closed because I'm going to need it closed when I actually do the rice. So I got to get my 1 cup of rice. Alright. There's my 1 cup of rice. Now I'm going to rinse it to get rid of the extra starch that's on rice, and then I will put it all in here. Now I'm okay with putting it over the shrimp. No big deal. Okay, so I'm just going to rinse it, kind of get my hand in there and toss it around so that that starch comes off some of the rice, okay? And like I said before, this is brown rice though. The recipe says that, you know, just in case I didn't mention it. It's brown rice. It cooks different than white rice. So when I'm cooking rice in my electric pressure cooker, I have to be careful and follow the recipes pretty well, just because if I don't get the right amount of liquid in there, the pressure cooker will be damaged. Okay. So I've rinsed the rice. I'm going to keep this on the shrimp to thaw, but the rice is ready. And I've rinsed it. Now I'm going to throw it into my electric pressure cooker. Okay, that's all I did, just a quick one. And you see, a lot of rice still stays there. So I'm going to rinse it and get it all into a batch and throw it again. So I'm trying to get all of that rice closer in, closer together. Okay, see that? Now that I'm dripping all over my counter. And I just do a quick flip again. And then I try to get the last of it out. And now I'm done. I'll need to rinse that later. Then it calls for 1.5 cups of water. Again, with electric pressure cookers, a second, checking my shrimp to see if it's done. With electric pressure cookers, you must have liquid in whatever recipe you're doing, or you can damage the pressure cooker. Okay, it's got to have the liquid to build up the pressure for it to cook. All right, so I happen to measure mine beforehand, and the least amount of water that my pressure cooker can take when there's a recipe is 1.5 cups. That's the minimum. If I want to do more rice, and like maybe I want to double the rice, and that would be 2 cups of brown rice and 3 cups of water. Well, I'm just doing 1 cup of rice, so I'm using 1.5 cups of water. Put that at the bottom. Okay. Then I'm putting my lid on. Okay, why is it not going on? Oh, I see what's wrong. The seal is not in the exact right place. So I have to squeeze that in to be in the right place. Otherwise, again, there's a danger with pressure cookers. When it says it's a pressure cooker, that's because it really is pressurized. So if you don't get that seal right, then that lid could maybe blow right off. That's why it has locks on it, that kind of thing. So now I have the seal right, fits just perfectly on. I twist it. Okay, I lied, my friends. I missed a spot. I did. I think I got it now. Okay. Let's see if I got it this time. And there it goes. See, that was so easy to twist once I had that seal on right. So make sure you have that seal on right. And if you're having a hard time with that seal, or rather if you're having a hard time locking it, you better check the seal too and make sure. So I've got that locked. I have this to closed position. I know that's hard to see. It's so hard to see black on black there and see what on earth I'm doing, right? Now for this, and I'm moving it back because I got other things that I have to do. So for this, I have to press rice. I have a rice button, and that gives me a low temperature and 12 minutes. And that's exactly what I want. Sometimes you get some of these pressure cookers and you have to do a little shorter or a little longer. I found that out with hard-boiled eggs in the pressure cooker, that they asked 6 minutes and that was too much. So I went down to 5 minutes. Now with the brown rice, I found this works. So now I press start, and I got to get everything else done. So the first thing I'm going to do is have you come over here with me. I wish you were here so you could help me. Because the next thing I have to do with that raw shrimp is take off the shell and the tail. So here we are. Ooh, what fun. You can see that. All right, I've got a little container. That's where I'm going to put all of these shells and tails. Okay? So when you have raw shrimp like that, it usually has the back of it split. So you just gently get it off. It's like a little shell thin. So I'm just going to take that off. And then what I do is I squeeze the tail with it and it comes right off. Okay? And then I just gather this in one place. Oh great, now I don't have anything for my shrimp. Yes I do. The cup that I use for the rice is now going to be holding the shrimp as they get done. So now we're peeling. Peel off, grab that light area. I grab the legs as well, okay? Then when it gets up here to the tail, come on tail. I'm going because I hate to lose any of the meat. Okay, there we go. I got the tail off. And yes, sometimes things are going to stick to you. I don't know if you can see that. It stuck to me. Okay, done. So as you see, this frozen shrimp did not take long to thaw. And I'm taking off the little legs as I peel off the shell. And then I got to get that tail. Just going to kind of squeeze and pull. So I have most of the shrimp. And that is what I'm going to do for the next several minutes. I am so sorry that you're standing there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause and get this all done, and then I'll come back to you. Alrighty? Let me dry my hands before I touch the camera here. Alright, see you when I'm done with my shrimp, which will feel like no time has passed because it's just on pause. You get your shrimp done too. Oh hey, I need to show you something right quick. I came across this shrimp, and if you look right in there, there's this dark streak. That's the veining. Sometimes they do a really good job deveining, and sometimes there's stuff left over. So, sorry, that's part of the shell. Just a minute. Let me get that out of the way. So what I do when that happens is I take my fingernail and get that up and take that right out. See that? Yes, it's gross. Sorry. But I had another one that happened with. They're all pretty good, really. But sometimes I come across that. And with that other one, that's when I realized, oh no, I should have shown you guys what you might end up seeing. So yeah, you want to take that out too, if you see it. So as you can see, I am still got quite a number of shrimp to do. Some of them feel pretty cold still, so I'm going to have to run the water. Alright, let me finish the shrimp. You finish yours as well, okay? The shrimp peeling process took so long that my rice is already done. Now I am going to let it release naturally. So first of all, I'm going to stop it. Okay? Then I let it sit for a while, and I'll hear the click when the lock goes down, which means that when the lock unlocks, which means that the pressure has gone low as well. I keep using a towel for my hands after I've touched the shrimp. So guess what? I need to make sure that this towel goes into the dirty laundry. Okay, so now it's time for stove time, alrighty? This is going to be the easiest part. I may be done before the pressure has gone down. Alrighty, so first of all, not time to go to the stove yet. I need 3 tablespoons of butter. And what I usually do is chop up my butter so that it melts easier. So it needs 3 tablespoons, and there's 1, 2, 3. So that is where I am cutting on that line to get my 3 tablespoons of butter. Then I try to get the paper off and not let any paper get into my melting. I have had that happen where I don't see part of the paper and it ends up in the pan in the hot pan, and I have to dig it out. Okay, so this is what I do. I cut my butter like that so that it will melt faster. Okay? So I'm going to put this in my skillet. I also need it says 1 teaspoon lemon and pepper seasoning salt. Well, guess what? I don't have the seasoning salt, and I keep forgetting to buy more. But that's okay, because I've learned that if I use some lemon juice and a little bit of salt and pepper, it works just fine. Okay, so I'm going to shake this up, and I see I have you guys really low. Can't even see you. There. Okay, so shake it up. And yes, you have to. It says right there on the bottle, chill and shake well before serving, because stuff goes down. So I'm going to use a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice, but then I'm going to keep this lemon juice next to my skillet because I like the lemon juice and I may need a little bit more. Alright, this is a 1/8 cup, and 1/8 cup is the same as 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, just lower to not spill this all over the place, unless I bump it, which could happen, in which case I've got paper towels behind me. Alrighty, so I'm going to put this over next to my skillet in case I want more. And then it says with the lemon and pepper, if I want to substitute with the lemon juice, I want 2 teaspoons of black pepper. 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And of course, this is too full with liquid to put the black pepper in. So I'm going to grab another 1/8 cup, which is the same thing as 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to get my black pepper. I want a teaspoon, what did it say? 2 teaspoons of black pepper and a teaspoon of salt. So I want 2 teaspoons of my black pepper. 1, 2. You know, I used to go to the restaurants and, oh, I just love shrimp scampi. Loved it, loved it, loved it. But too expensive to have it on a regular basis, right? And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. We have the internet. I wonder. And sure enough, I found this shrimp scampi recipe. So yeah, it's amazing how easy these can be. Now, of course, the restaurants probably make them fancier than what I do at home, which of course makes it taste better. But it also means that I don't have to be at a restaurant just to get, there we go, just to get shrimp scampi. I just wait until the shrimp goes on sale at the grocery store. Alright, so I have my lemon, my salt and pepper. Garlic powder is right here. No, it's not. Just a second. There it is. Garlic powder. So I want a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Where are you? That is the 1/2 teaspoon. Here is the 1/4 teaspoon. So I have the garlic powder. Now, sometimes I'll use minced garlic, you know, the one that comes in the container, or sometimes I'll even use fresh garlic. But for now, I'm using the 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, I think I've got everything ready. These two, I'm going to put over here next to my skillet. Okay, the butter needs to be melted in the skillet. So in the skillet, heat on, and now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to take you over to the skillet. So here we go. Don't stare at the background, you get motion sickness sometimes. Alright, so trying to not knock anything down, I put my lemon and my seasoning where I needed to put you. Well, the computer, you know. Alright, so we've got that butter melting. And the shrimp, oh, I shelled the shrimp and deveined it if it had a big vein. And then I also took the tail off, shell, tail off, devein. And I rinsed out the colander that it was defrosting in, and I put it back into that colander so that some of that extra liquid from rinsing them underneath the sink, underneath the water tap while I was shelling them, will run out, so that the extra water might not be quite so extra, because I had put it in that cup, and that cup would have held any dripping water from off of the shrimp. So I don't suppose that they'll be totally dry by the time that it's time for them to go in. Now this part, guys, so easy. The shelling of the shrimp took a long time, but I have to say, if you happen to have the already cooked shrimp, no big deal. This will be even much faster. So hold on. I think it's time. I'm letting it get melted, but then I'm also going to let it get a little more runny. Yeah, I got it runny. Okay, so now it's time. I am adding the lemon and the seasoning. Lemon and seasoning into that butter. And of course there was pepper in it, and now I'm coughing. Okay, so I'm going to get this stirred up. Gonna let it get hotter. I think that's good to go. I see it bubbling, and that's what I want, because I want it hot enough to really get this shrimp going. So here we go. Now the shrimp will take not very long, but I want it to be pink. So I'm gonna stir this around. Let it get in there. Wow, that is a lot of pepper. Usually when I make my shrimp scampi, I don't measure, I just guess. So I usually have more lemon than pepper and salt. This time I really put in the pepper with the salt, but I'm good with that. Now, gonna let that do its thing. Woo, feel like coughing. Yes, I cough away from that. So this will get back up to hotter. Yep, I see it starting to boil. The shrimp, if you look, see, it's not pink yet. It needs more pink to show that it's actually done. But it also doesn't take too long for shrimp to cook. Now I'm going to drag you back over to where the rice is, because it's time to get that rice ready too. All right. As you can see, I still have a mess right here. No problem. I know how to clean up. Okay. I'm pretty sure that the rice is totally done along with it being released. Let me find out. Can I move the lid? It did it. In spite of the pressure being released, I'm not going to just jerk that lid off because that steam is hot. Let me show you what I do. I'll bring it here so you can watch. Alrighty. So, I'm going to unlock this. The other thing I could do is I leave it locked and I flip this, not with my finger, but with something that will keep me away, because if I release that, sometimes steam might come out if there's lots of pressure. No steam's coming out, that means the pressure is off. So I release this. I am going to pick up this lid away from me, not towards me, but away from me. You will end up with all the steam. So I lift and I just keep it like that. See all that steam? It is not coming towards me. You see all the condensation, the liquid that's up on the lid? It goes down, right back down into the rice. Okay? So that's how I do it. I'm going to turn this thing over. Wait a minute. I'm going to grab this thing, which is not hot right now. I'm going to turn this upside down because that part is hot. But I find a piece of counter that counter space that doesn't have anything around it. Now with the rice, I need to do what's called fluff the rice. So, to fluff the rice, I have a wooden spoon, or I can use one of my plastic spoons. When you have one of the electric pressure cookers nowadays, they coat them with a Teflon, which keeps things from sticking. But if you use metal on that thing, it'll ruin it, or at least gradually ruin it more than you want it to be ruined. So I use my wooden or plastic. I'm going to dig in and just kind of fluff the rice. Now it's hot right here, very hot. You see that steam? Yeah. So even though my inner pot spins, if I don't want it to spin, then I'm going to have to get like a pot holder so that it doesn't turn while I'm trying to fluff it. Alright, and I hear that shrimp really going to town. So all I'm doing is kind of lifting it up. I don't have to bring it out. Okay, and there's, just enough rice, or maybe a little more for my husband and I for dinner. And maybe we only want a little bit with our shrimp scampi on the plates. Now, guess what? I fluffed the rice. It's ready. I'm going to grab 2 plates. I'm going to move the garlic, the extra butter, because pretty soon I'm going to need to be able to get the shrimp over here, or I guess I can take my plate over there. This is the extra rice. I keep it in a bag, and I do a slip knot, not a real knot. Okay, it slips right out. Alright, now you need to come over here. See that cooking? I'm gonna flip them over. They aren't as clear anymore. I know with all that pepper, it's hard to see anything, but I can see the pinkness now. I'm just kind of stirring it around, which I should have been doing in the first place, to make sure all the sides are done. And let me just show you. Oops, there. See? It's more pink. In other words, it's done. Okay? So that's done, and now all I have to do is get this ready for my plates. There we go. So now it's time to bring you back over here. Little things that you can do to add to your meal. Maybe you have more than just 2 of you at home, and I'm assuming you do. So it may be that you only get a little bit of rice and a little bit of shrimp on there, and then you can always add to your meal. You can always add salad or fruit, or I might slice some cheese or something to put on some of this. You know, have the shrimp scampi, have some. I don't think I have salad today, so I'll have to get some later. But in the meantime, I know I've got some pear sauce in the fridge, so I might do pear sauce. And I have cottage cheese in the fridge, so I might do some cottage cheese first and then put the pear sauce on top. In the same way that I'm going to put the rice down first and then put the shrimp scampi on top. So there you go, guys. Easy shrimp scampi. The hardest part of it, hold on, I've got to, where did my stuff go? Ah, there it is. Okay. It's my mouse to the computer so I can stop the video rolling. Easy shrimp scampi. Hardest part being the peeling. So if you happen to get the shrimp that's already cooked and frozen, that is like perfect. Anyway, thank you. Have fun. I hope your shrimp scampi tastes good. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Funny joke. Okay, so now and then, the other reason I learned how to do shrimp scampi is I love shrimp scampi, right? And now and then someone would say, "Oh, Marion, how are you? Can I get you something?" Like if I was over at somebody's house, or what can I do for you, or something like that, and I'd go, "Oh, shrimp scampi? Do you have any?" Anyway, now you have shrimp scampi. I have shrimp scampi. Go eat. Enjoy. And now, you must clean up.
Here are some fun facts about shrimp. Shrimp have a lot of protein and are particularly good for you when served with healthy carbs like brown rice or vegetables. Shrimp contains selenium and astaxanthin, which are beneficial antioxidants. In addition, they provide vitamin B12 and are low in carbohydrates and fat. 1 billion pounds of shrimp are eaten every year by Americans. It's the favorite seafood. Several species of shrimp can make a snapping sound that is louder than any other marine noise by hitting their large and small pincers together. The noise is loud enough to stun or even kill some small fish. The pistol shrimp can deliver an explosive attack loud enough to rupture a human eardrum. A shrimp can average about 6 inches, while the longest ever found was at 16 inches. The tiger shrimp can grow to be roughly the length of an adult's forearm and has more tail meat than the average lobster. The name for raw, uncooked shrimp is green. Shrimp that has been broiled or sauteed, usually in butter and garlic, are called scampi. By the way, April 29th is National Shrimp Scampi Day. May 9th is National Shrimp Day.